said in there just about coaches and those telling you that you'll never make it. And I think that's such a difficult thing, especially at a young age, when you're developing your kind of your own self-confidence in yourself, to hear all of these no's from people who supposedly should know more than you. So I'm just kind of curious if you can kind of take us back into where your mind was at hearing all of these things, but still being, self-confident and, stubborn in a good way, that it didn't really matter that 4 or 5, 6 coaches were going to say no, or that you couldn't do this, or that you were too small, which is a crazy American thing when we were young. Had the same thing as well. But like, how did you kind of deal with all of those, I guess, negative input from people who you're supposed to be kind of looking up to?
Yeah, so I think one of the parts that you said is like being stubborn. I don't necessarily think I've ever been a good stubborn, but I'm definitely stubborn. And when people tell me like I can't do something, I want to prove them wrong. And I was really little when I was younger. I was the littlest on every team that I played, but all the parents and all the other coaches used to joke with me, like if soccer didn't work out, there was always hockey, because I was always the one that was the most aggressive. I made sure that I made up for my lack of height in other ways. I was the most technical. I put in the most hours of work just to try to be able to prove them wrong. Um, and then it was always the same coaches, and then another coach would come along and be like, well, then why wouldn't you come play with us? Like, we can develop you here. We don't believe in the whole you're too little thing. And I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And I went over there and I played a couple of years, and I grew to be 5'9", so the little issue was never a problem for me again. um and yeah, I think my mindset through all of it, even when I got past it, was I can do it. I proved to myself and I proved to those coaches. I'm continuing to grow in the process. I'm continuing to develop as a player, as a person. One of the hardest ones was being told that I wouldn't play in college. And it was actually one of my very first college visits. And he was like, yeah, I just don't think you're a good enough player. And I was like, heartbroken, because I really wanted to play in college. And my next visit after that to a different school, I almost didn't go, because I was like, well, crap, if these great coaches think I'm not going to be able to play in college, what's the point of even wasting their time, wasting my time, wasting the money to travel to go visit the colleges? Um, but Mark actually convinced me to come visit Florida State. And so I went down. I absolutely loved the school, and offered me money on the first visit. And I was like shocked, because I was like, why did I let one coach get me down when I should know my own worth and how I play and how I train and how I feel about myself? And my dad was always telling me, like, if somebody is getting you down, that's not the right place. You just got to keep looking, and you'll find somebody that values your qualities. And so that's kind of how I've taken it also into the pros. Going into France, my first half season of France, I found out from a player that the coach brought me in as a practice player. He didn't even plan on playing me. And coming in thinking, oh, this is my first pro contract. I can't wait to play. I'm so excited. Gonna learn so much. And then having a player tell me like 3 months in, oh, yeah, you're not going to play. He doesn't even plan on playing you, was another heartbreaking thing. And I was like, just trying to put my head to the grind and just keep pushing through. And he ended up leaving, and the start of the next season we got a new coach, and then I started every game. And so I had to remind myself again, just because one coach didn't like me, didn't like my qualities, doesn't mean that there isn't a coach out there that does. So yeah, I think just little reminders of, you just got to get through this one little hard part to get to the good stuff, kind of helped me stay on track.
A lot to unpack there. Now, I want to talk about in the beginning how you, especially when you were younger, you always proving people wrong. Do you feel that your mindset has changed to not proving people wrong anymore, but proving yourself right? Because you know the heights that you can reach rather than the heights that they say you can't reach. You see even farther than what they believe you can even get to.
Yes, absolutely. I think at the beginning, it was just if somebody said something negative to me, I was immediately like, oh, I'm proving you wrong, this, that, the other. But now it's kind of like if somebody says, you're not good enough, this, or this isn't what we want here, then I'm just like, okay, fair enough. If that's not what you want, I know there's plenty of opportunities out there, and I know my qualities. I've been playing 20 years since I was 3, so I don't really count a lot of the younger stuff, but I like to say I've been playing 20 years. Exactly, it counts. So yeah, I think now it's just kind of like, okay, that's another person that's not all for you. Okay, move on. There's plenty of people out there. I know what I need to do. I know what I've been doing. I know where I've been, and I know where I'm going.
So, I mean, you've already kind of stated in the beginning, you have big goals for the future. You've stated that one of them is to get to the senior women's national team. So how do you approach this goal, this mission statement, both mentally and physically?
Yeah, mentally, I would say I've been in the youth camps. I've made one full team ID camp, so I know that I'm able to get there. I know I'm on the radar. I think just putting my head to the grind and showing that I can be consistent in just continuing to grow and take pieces of information of what I need to work on, what is good for me, what I need to continue to grow with, and not getting discouraged that, I haven't been called in a long time. New players are getting called in every day. I'm not one of them. I can't look at it like that. For me, it's all right, other players are getting opportunities. Keep working. Your opportunity is going to come. And physically, it's just sticking to it, kind of the making your own path. Like it's not going to be handed to you. Nothing's ever handed to you. So knowing that the work will pay off as long as I still work.
Like, I mean, this idea of being able to control really only what you can control and then just letting the rest kind of come to you. Is that kind of how you approach it? Because I'm sure sometimes, when you don't get that call, it can be harder than others because you could be like, I'm putting on all this work, but at the end of the day, that call is out of your control. It's just you putting yourself out there to have the best seasons, to be the fittest you can, to play the best in games to the best of your ability.
Yes, when I was younger, I like even if I gave it my all and I didn't get the result I wanted, it would destroy me, and I would just be I would almost want to quit and be like, this isn't worth it. But I think I'm now mature enough to be like, if I actually did give my all, and only I can know if I gave my all, if I trained as hard as possible and I was as prepared as possible, and I'm still not getting the result, then that's life. There's not much I can do about that. I just gotta hope another opportunity comes or keep working for the next opportunity, because it's almost never a one and done kind of thing. And just knowing that eventually, if that isn't the path that I have imagined for myself, a lot of times there's another path that leads to the same result. So it's just kind of trying to stay open-minded about it and know that there are different ways, different methods to get what I want.